Greetings from Scouse farm. Nice backdrop for you to start the video. I'm trying to hide in the place where there's no wind, so I'm not going to move around for a bit. But what I want to do today is tell you about another famous Liverpudlian that is so world famous. I'd never heard about him until my dad told me who he was recently. And the reason I'm standing here in town, it's the last video I'm doing in town, hopefully forever, but this is a very particular spot for this individual, so stick around and I'll show you at the end why I'm standing where I'm standing. And his name is William Masters. He has another stage name that will become apparent soon, but he was born on the 5th of June 1887 to a Jamaican father and an Irish mother called Anne Jane Williams. And he dropped out of school at an early age to become a street urchin, and the street urchins are like the kids who used to go around singing, dancing, busking, shining shoes, anything they could do to earn a few shillings at the time. And while doing this, his talent was singing, and he was talent spotted and joined a group called the Five Boys, who were a touring group who went around the UK singing and dancing. And this Five Boys group led to him joining what was called the Lancashire Lads. And the Lancashire Lads, for those who know a bit of history about another famous person, is the group that Charlie Chaplin started in. So there is some research to say that he was in at the same time as Charlie Chaplin, but some other research says that he joined before, so Charlie Chaplin was in there after him. So I don't know which it is, but he was still definitely in the same group. And unfortunately his father passed away in the late 1800s and his mum passed away in 1903. So after this he ended up living with his aunt and uncle. And while he was touring around, he also adopted the stage name of Gordon Stretton. So that's what a lot of people will know him for. He'd been called Gordon Stretton, not his original name, which is William Masters. And the reason he picked that name is because he was influenced by a musician called Eugene Stratton. So I believe Stretton is a play on Stratton as the surname, or I'm not sure where he got the Gordon from, but that's the name he picked anyway. And William Masters' hunting ground was North Wales to start with, so he played a lot in North Wales and toured around singing in clubs and whatnot in North Wales until 1906, when he then joined, or was talent spotted to join, the Jamaican Choral Union. And where I'm standing now, just here, I think there's a picture. If you look down below in the video description, you'll see a picture of the Jamaican Choral Union standing around here on the corner somewhere. And he did then go on a national tour with them up until the point in 1908 when he went solo. And on his solo tour, it took him as far afield as South Africa and Australia. Lovely building, the old St. George's Hall. So he did have quite a lot of success at an early age, because then he was only about 20 or 21. And when touring around, when he did come back, as I say, he stayed with his aunt and uncle in Liverpool. And on the outset of the Great War of 1914-1918, he joined up in 1914 to serve in the British Army, and was then posted to the Somme region in a town of Amiens, or city of Amiens, in northern France, north of Paris, east of Dieppe. And while here fighting in the Somme, or around that area, he was injured about 5 times. And one of his injuries was so bad it resulted in him being released from service, and he then had to recover in hospital over 1917. And while in hospital during 1917, he met someone who would become very influential in his life, but I'll save that for a little bit later on. Then when he was back on his feet in 1920, he was the leader and lead singer of his own band, and he was playing at Claridge's in London, the Ritz in Paris, the Savoy in Nice, and basically all of the high and mighty establishments of the time, the 5-star places. And during this period of his life, he was rubbing shoulders with the likes of all of the rich and famous of the time. And bizarrely, he struck up and was befriended by the Prince of Wales, who later went on to become King Edward VIII, who is the British king famous for abdicating the throne to marry the American divorcee Wallis Simpson, if I've got her name right. But this just shows that, you know, some kid who started off as a street urchin in Liverpool, a Scouser, ended up the friends of the King of England. It's just madness to me. But his own band is called the Orchestra Syncopated Six, and in 1923 he took the band and set sail for Argentina and landed at Buenos Aires, and then he became known as the King of Jazz because he had such an influence on the music of South America at the time, because they had like tango music, and lots of the most famous tango singers in South America attribute a lot of their development to the influence of William Masters and his like jazz style music that he brought over to South America. And being a famous musician at the time, he obviously played a lot more and in a lot of places, so I can't go through everything he done in his life because he had such an eventful and monumental life. But his last performance was in 1980 and he was aged 93, and unfortunately he passed away on the 3rd of May 1983 at age 95, and is buried at the Cementerio Británico in Buenos Aires, Argentina. A Scouser, basically nothing but poverty, went from where I'm standing now to being a world famous musician, rubbing shoulders with the royalty. And it is a bit windy now when I come around here, so apologies, but the mic will get affected. But I need to take you to this fountain, the Stebble fountain, and I'm just going to get something out of my bag that I've prepared because I want to show you a picture of the person in question, William Masters. So if the camera shakes, it's because I'm getting something out of my bag. But give me a second. And I'm back. Sorry for that. That was not very smooth. But this is the Stebble fountain, and William Masters was pictured on the Stebble fountain with a group of other street urchins at the time. And I think the records state that the picture was taken in 1890, which makes him maybe 3 going on 4, but he looks a lot older in this picture, so I was like confused. But everywhere I've looked says that it was taken in 1890. So I'm going to walk you around now and show you exactly where he was sitting. So it was there. So when I show you the picture now, just look at the backdrop, and this is where he was sitting, and there's a load of other lads here on the fountain, and some cut off at the side standing there. And I'll walk you around now to show you from the angle the picture's taken. But my friend Nadia has nicely laminated this picture because I knew it was going to rain, so I can put it on the side here now and you can see the man in question. But this fountain's fantastic. Look at that. And it used to be running all through summer. I don't know if it still is, but you know, kids playing it, splash about, and it was fantastic. So let's have a look. Hopefully the wind doesn't take it away. Stay. That's where I am now. So here's the fountain, and behind you can see there's the obelisk thingy bob, and here is William Masters. And I will leave a link down below for a great article about his life. But you can see, look, all the kids, no shoes. And this one here, this fella, I don't know who he is, just some random kid, but his head looks like an adult head placed on a kid's body. Proper weird. But if that's someone's family member from 1890, then sorry about that. But look at him there. Look at this fella, no shoes on. And without going into preach mode, it's when people talk about poverty, this is poverty. But look at the faces, they're all happy because they've got what they need in life. They don't need iPhones. I do because I make videos, but these don't need computer games and the latest Nike Air Max or whatever the local thing is for people who want new shoes. I mean, he's got some boots on, but most of them are barefoot, and this is how they walked around this area of town, busking and odd jobs and whatever else they were doing. And here we have William Masters, Gordon Stretton, a kid who basically looks just like an abandoned kid, who then went on to speak fluent Italian, German, French, mastered about 5 or 6 different musical instruments, influenced jazz music forever, and he's just a little Scouse lad sat here on this fountain in 1890. I find that unbelievable, and just shows that no matter what your circumstances or where you come from, if you've got talent and you get a little bit of luck, you can make it. And I just cannot believe that I never knew about this fella. So we've got a Scouser who I never knew about, who's literally changed the world of music and made something of himself from absolutely nothing, and that is fantastic. It's a great message to any of the kids now who look depressed because they didn't get McDonald's for tea or whatever, and just show them that picture. And why is everyone happy back then and not very many kids are happy now? I wonder why. But while I'm here, let's have a little look at some of these wonderful buildings before I let you go. You got the museum, the library, all of the cultural parts of town, or cultural parts of the city down this way. So if you are in the city and you haven't been for a while, get yourselves down and have a little walk around. You never know what you'll see. Right, thank you all very much for watching. I want to get myself back to work in Scouse Farm. We'll see you all again soon.